in the bowels here. You see all this air. It's air and fluid, right, Mr. Donahue?
It could be air, feces, and or fluid, yes. All the above. Happens quite a bit. A lot of times a solid object will get lodged in those intestines. As you can imagine, the stuff's moving through the intestines. That's air, that's fluid, that's feces, and you can see right there, it's got nowhere to go. So what's happening to the intestines? They're swelling up. And that can be dangerous, as you imagine, because that could actually burst inside the patient. And what's going to happen if it bursts inside the patient?
Sepsis.
You're in big trouble. You're in big doo-doo. No pun intended there. You're in big doo-doo.
You're most likely to get over the shampoo.
Oh, the shampoo bottle.
Not yet. Okay, so we'll have some cases where there's obstructions in this intestine or blockage, and some of the pathologies, one of them is fibrous adhesions. So it's fibrous bands that form between tissues and organs. You can see it right there. Looks kind of like thin plastic. It can be caused by surgery or any sort of injury that has happened and the body tries to heal itself. So it forms like a thin plastic type fibrous band.
Like around the
Mm-hmm.
If y'all look closely, y'all see why it's dangerous. Looking at that diagram on the bottom right. See how it forms connections between intestines where there should not be connections?
Yes.
So that fecal material and waste will be passing to the wrong areas at the wrong time, causing
Yes.
major issues.
So we have a stenosis here, which is like a narrowing of the passageway. And so the stuff that's supposed to pass through from the ileum is not making its way to the cecum. So the body has created an abnormal passageway called a fistula.
Yep.
So now the ileum is connected to the sigmoid colon, which is not natural. Because all of the stuff has to go somewhere. So Crohn's disease is an inflammatory bowel disease that it affects the lining of the digestive tract. It is an autoimmune disease caused by bacteria in your digestive tract, and it can attack your healthy cells. And it often runs in families and there is no cure.
That's why.
They just treat it, right?
Yeah.
These, they're just trying to get less.
All those commercials about like, if you have IBS.
Can they go back in there and cut that little thing?
Probably could, just
What
so,
was the question?
if they could go back and surgically remove this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, they can do some incredible stuff with the intestines. They can repurpose intestines completely.
Oh, will it grow back again?
Will like the lost intestine part grow back, is what you're saying?
No, that.
No, the
Oh, the
adhesion.
fistula?
Yeah.
It could,
It
yes.
could.
Yeah. That can always grow back.
Okay, now we have volvulus, which is when the bowel twists upon itself.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, right here. So it's like the bowel twisted around itself and made a knot. And then we have intussusception, which is when the bowel kind of goes into the itself, or telescopes upon itself.
And those intussusceptions are very common in your pediatrics. We used to have those at least once a night. And what they do is they will put a barium enema probe in the baby's anus, and they'll attach a device and pump air into the colon and small intestines because they're gonna create pressure to pop it back open. Now, sometimes that doesn't work and they have to go to surgery, but it's a very common procedure and it has a pretty good success rate overall for those intussusceptions. We used to always hate mechanics. They're always lengthy procedures. It always come in the middle of the night on little babies.
But why does it happen to babies? Just because?
As they're growing, it's just like as their intestines are growing, it just basically just defect and telescope on itself. Very common actually on infants.
Ileus. Another pathology of the abdomen. It is when the small bowel it becomes distended. It's a GI condition in which digested material is prevented from passing normally through the bowel. And it's also a type of bowel obstruction.
Diverticulitis, it's something I'll talk about in my program. That's the colon. I have that actually.
Another one, we have ulcerative, how do you say that word?
Colitis,
Ulcerative?
ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis. That's basically inflammation of the colon, or it can be caused by ulcers. I don't think there's a cure for this one either.
I always wondered what that was when I saw it.
Well, they basically just tell you, cause I used to have this.
Inflammation, of the colon caused by ulcers.
I used to have this, they just basically tell you to get off red meat, increase your fiber intake, and take probiotics.
Yeah.
That's about all you can do.
Oh, red meat.
Avoid red meat.
Too much red meat. And, this can also lead to colon cancer.
So what about things like kombucha? Like, does that help keep you healthy for that, or prevent this sort of stuff, or no? Just
I have
like
no idea.
specifically like gut health and whatnot. Like
What do you think, Mr.
What was the
Donahue?
question?
kombucha, they
Kombucha.
like in relation to they said stay away from red meat, do this, do that. Like, did they reference that at all or no?
They didn't reference it to me, I'll say that. I've got a lot of colon issues. I don't know if I've shared that with y'all. I've got, like, I have to go get polyps removed every 5 years or so, because it runs in my family really bad. They basically just told me, avoid red meat, probiotics, and fiber. That's what you gotta do. It's worked for me so far.
Keep your colon clean.
Yes. Here's the fun
Okay,
ones.
fun times.
Y'all gotta guess what that is. That's the
Yes,
fun one.
That's
so
Casper.
first let's guess what this is, and then
Shake
we'll
that.
guess.
Oh,
quarters.
those are those like
Magnet.
Magnet.
yes.
Because they're too sticky together.
Yes.
That's the kids.
So you'll see a lot of people that come in that have weird addictions, like people that want to swallow batteries and knives and forks. It's a real thing.
Is that like pica?
Yes.
I thought it was an accident.
Oh no. Sorry, guys.
Consent. Oh my
What is
God.
this?
What is that?
No one has ever successfully guessed that image by the way.
A golf ball.
Looks like a duster.
A bird salute.
It's a dry sheet.
That, yeah. Cody, you said a sweet like
Or
the
is it some
The dusters,
kind
right?
Very closely.
It looks like a baby doll.
Umbrella.
Or
Umbrella.
looks like
That's
a
a very good
or
guess.
it looks like a bird.
Bird.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
No.
Like a bird or
Oh yeah, I see that.
It is.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to guess. Is it something possible that we can guess, or is it just something that's just out of the box?
Something you use every day.
Is the average household thing?
Something you typically use every day. You should.
So?
It's like a racquetball thing.
It's a towel.
It's a
Toilet paper.
Don't tell us, don't tell
Oh,
us.
those fuzzy, the feathers to clean the thing.
Cody's
A
gonna
duster?
yeah,
I'm gonna
Cody's-
sit down for this.
A Swiffer?
It is it's a Swiffer.
Here's your clue, guys. Look at how high the contrast is on it.
White.
Look how white it is.
And tint white.
So it couldn't be something like a feather duster or anything like soft. It would be something very
A
hard,
towel?
right?
A
Like
face
a
towel?
certain material,
What is that a napkin?
metallic.
Damn no.
I don't know, what is this?
I don't wanna think about it.
Portable?
It's a bunch of forks.
What?
No.
Oh my God, I see it. Oh my God.
It's a
bunch of what?
Forks.
Or, I don't know.
Where?
would never get
What?
that.
Oh!
I've seen this
Oh my
before,
God.
not to this degree, but I've seen kids that have that obsessive
Oh, I
disorder
see
where they
it.
wanna swallow
I
metal,
see it.
do that exact thing right there.
You're joking.
No joke.
Oh my
How
god.
they get that in the throat?
Your throat and stomach are very flexible, a lot more than you realize.
Shit.
When
I know
I
you
was
guys
working
know
at
that.
bedtime, I had a patient that would frequently come in because she liked to swallow batteries.
Yeah.
Like that was her thing, swallowing batteries.
A child or a grown up?
A grown up, it's like, oh, she's back again.
It's 9:30. Where's Miss Hendrick? Out there she is.
And
Yeah,
is the fork wrapped in some cloth or something?
No, it's just a bunch of them.
there's just a bunch of them.
And that's just like a regular like stomach surgery or like how do they what do
I'm
they even?
assuming they
They
would
would
have,
likely have to open that person up and get those
because
out.
there's no way that's gonna pass.
I was gonna say like is that it's not natural selection at that point like you did this like
How do they take the batteries out? If it's small enough, they probably could, poop it out, or if not, they'll probably have to use it.
Oh my God. Oh, I heard about that one.
That's
I
like
heard
a
about
story,
this.
that's like a story I told you
This is
guys.
very, very true,
That's the story
especially
you
if you
told
work in
It's
God.
bedtime.
similar to the story I told you all.
At bedtime?
You'll see this very often at bedtime. Oh, Bob, get ready.
why is this like a common thing?
Why is it?
Is it always,
Why?
there's some freaks out there, okay?
Yeah.
Freaks come out at night.
Yes.
At bedtime.
What is this?
I feel like you really don't want to know what that is.
That's
That is a toy.
that's a toy.
Yeah, you see the,
You see the battery.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got happy.
Very common on the right as well, like constantly.
Oh my gosh, so I think this was overnight.
don't know
My
if you
coworker
want
was
to
doing
put
an
that
x-ray
in.
on this patient that came to the shock room. And we were doing the x-ray and we heard this bzzz sound. We're like, what is that? Of course, we take the x-ray and we see something like this. It's like, oh, it's still on. Another toy.
Jesus Christ!
That's
Oh my
huge, though.
God.
I don't even know what that is.
A baseball bat?
But that's
It's very
It's a long
large
thing.
toys.
Baseball bat?
I know.
That's
And then we have a spoon.
How often?
Or a big old spoon.
The forks seem tame now.
At least once a week.
So where all this in the
Yeah.
in which area are these things are found now? The spoon and the.
Well, the spoon is in the stomach area.
I worked about 6
This
months
is in their
in
rectum,
Museum before I
or
came here, so
farther up.
kids. But I saw this with kids too.
So could that like,
Sadly.
like hurt their bowels? That
Yes, this could totally damage their bowels.
You know, I told you how the colon suctions.
No.
What is
Oh
No.
my God.
No.
That's exactly what it looks like. It's a jar.
Look, man, just imagine anything
How?
that you could
That's my
possibly
question.
pick up. It's gonna go in.
It's like, how?
It's still sealed.
You know,
It's
the
like a
sphincter
honey
is a lot more
bottle, right?
flexible than you realize. I'll say that.
And
The
there
male
are
sphincter is
some
very flexible.
people that don't want to quit trying.
Oh my God.
They can't get in that, what is it, that
What?
girl work?
This is through the rectum.
Yes.
So, moving past that, why are the needles the way they are like that? Like, is that
They
the?
like pain. They like pain, so they wanna.
No, that's not what that's not even what I'm going for. I'm saying like that, yeah. Like, is there something happening to the needles? Like, why are they laying like that?
I have no idea.
They were hiding their needles from someone.
Also,
They won't let me
one thing we would see a lot, a lot of your criminals
Cops
will
to
hide
see her,
stuff
like-
in the
Yeah.
rectum.
I was gonna say
You probably
somebody,
have seen that.
yeah.
They'll hide stuff, so that's why they'll do a lot of,
Well, that's what they
rectal
call
searches.
that.
They'll do rectal searches on criminals,
Yeah.
inmates, because they'll hide all kinds of stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen blades hidden up
That's
there.
why they call them like
Yeah. Yeah.
Squatting call.
Drugs, they'll hide drugs up there as well.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
I knew a kid in high school who stuffed up a blood up there. Yep.
Drugs. Ooh.
To infinity and beyond.
No!
Oh my
No!
God.
No! No.
Talking about holding me meeting straight now.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
All right. Mr. Donahue, you can take over after that.
Oh, you want to take over?
Yes.
Okay. It's break time. So I take a 10-minute break, guys.
I wanted coffee, man. Nothing